Hello guys, let's find the factorial of negative numbers, and quickly let's see the properties of factorial from its definition. So x factorial is defined as x into x minus 1 into x minus 2 blah 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 until 3 into 2 into 1. And from here we can also get x factorial is equals to x into x minus 1 factorial because here x minus 1 factorial is just x minus 1, x minus 2, blah blah blah, 3 into 2 into 1. Now, before finding the factorial of negative numbers, you have to know that, well, the negative number factorial is actually undefined. So we're in fact going to have to take the limit as a certain number approaching to that negative number, aka the limit, so that we can find the approximate or the limiting value. Generally it's undefined, such as 1 by 0 in itself is undefined, but if it's 0 plus or 0 minus, it is infinity and negative infinity correspondingly. And from here we'll have to use this property to find the factorial of negative numbers. Now let's first find 0 factorial, because that is a similar or same way we're going to have to find the factorial of negative numbers. So from here we can have x minus 1 factorial is equals to x factorial by x. Now let's say you put x equals to 0 because we want to find 0 factorial. Well, what we're going to have is 0 into negative 1 factorial. As we know, that's undefined, so we cannot use that. So what if we let x equals to 1? Well, from here you'll get 1 minus 1 factorial, which is 0 factorial, 1 factorial by 1, which is 1. Hence we get 0 factorial is equals to 1. So let's move on to negative numbers. X minus 1 factorial is equals to x factorial by x. Now let's say that x approaches well, we want to first find negative 1 factorial. So as x approaches 0, let's see. So when we have this, we're going to have 0 factorial equals to 0 factorial by 0. Oh, not 0 factorial, minus 1 factorial. So minus 1 factorial is equals to 0 factorial by 0. And we know 0 factorial is 1, so I'll have 1 by 0. And here, this is why we needed to take the limit, because here, this x approaches 0. It is not exactly 0, but approaches 0. That means 1 by 0 here is in fact infinity. Now similarly, let's take the case when x approaches, next number is negative 2 factorial, right? So x approaching 1 or negative 1. In that case, we're going to have minus 2 factorial is equals to here minus 1 factorial by minus 1. X is minus 1. So here, minus 1 factorial, we can use this fact, which is this is infinity by negative 1. So that we get negative infinity. So similarly, let's find negative 3 factorial. And you can guess what the limit will be. X approaches minus 2. This will be minus 3 factorial equals to minus 2 factorial by minus 2. This will be from here minus infinity by negative 2. And here this will be infinity. So you can see the pattern. Infinity minus infinity, infinity minus infinity, and so on. So we can conclude what negative factorial will be. So I'm just going to write it right here. So I'm going to write it right here. let's say we used n so much, let's use n. So n factorial, and we'll just say is n belongs to the negative integers. This can equal two things, either infinity or negative infinity, and it will be infinity when n is equals to an odd number, right? When it's -1, -3, -5, -5, or -7, so on. Or we can simply say 1, 3, 5, 7, because n in itself is negative. So n must be an odd number. We can represent it as 2m plus 1, just a general form for an odd number, and negative infinity when n equals to 2m. Right? So there we go. Negative factorial is in fact infinity or negative infinity. And another, quickly I'll just write it here. 1 by negative factorial. So we'll just say 1 by n factorial using just this information. Well, you can either have 1 by infinity or 1 by minus infinity. But does that even matter? Well, no, because either way you'll just get 0. So we can also say 1 by negative factorial, or factorial of a negative number, will be always 0, as long as we're taking the limit. Otherwise it's obviously undefined. So there we go. We have found the factorial of our negative number, or rather. So if you learned something new, please like and subscribe. Thank you.